Hey everybody, it's Michael Govier here from the Hey It's Rico Palazzo Fantasy Baseball Podcast, part of the Roto Fanatic Podcast Network. I'm finishing up my main event, the NFBC's main event, one of the biggest, if not the biggest, fantasy baseball tournament around. So I got 2 picks left. The draft is mostly done. 28 picks in the can. It's a 15-team Roto League, 2 catchers, 30 roster spots. It's been quite the experience. I've learned a lot. You know, there's been players that I thought would be there that, poof, just absolutely disappeared. And there's a lot to learn from that. You know, these guys, they put down real money here. The entry fee is $1,700. So this is an amateur hour, I'll tell you that much. But I'm glad I'm a part of it. You know, I'm looking at the draft board now, and I'm seeing how things have played out. And I went really, really long without getting a catcher. In fact, right now my 2 starting catchers are Tyler Stevenson and Francisco Mejia. So if you're a fan of those guys, then you'll probably like my team. But if you're not a fan, you're probably asking yourself, why did you wait so long? I've talked to a lot of people. They have different opinions about how long should you wait, when should you take a catcher in these Roto leagues, especially 2 catcher leagues. And we'll find out. I love Tyler Stevenson, but I don't know if he's going to get the playing time. So I could end up regretting that situation. There's no trades or anything, for those of you that don't know. No transactions other than Fab, which runs every Sunday night at 10 p.m. So I have 2 picks left, and everything else is filled. I could go in any direction, really. Last couple of picks to let you know. Kyle Crick, Tanner Houck, and Drelton Simmons. Evan Longoria, Nomar Mazara, Trevor May. Yeah, on and on and on. So I'm not sure what I'll do with these last 2 picks here because there is Fab. I think I could take a little more of a risk here with these final 2 roster spots. The final 2!
Utah, give me 2.
So I throw that in there. And don't forget, I am the host of the Hey It's Rico Palazzo Fantasy Baseball Podcast, and you can subscribe to this channel, our YouTube channel, 2 L's, 2 Z's, Palazzo Podcast.
Utah,
Don't forget it.
give me 2.
We really like having you guys a part of the community, and what we do here is a lot of fun. Me and Deary are going to have our final showdown show tomorrow afternoon at 3 p.m. Eastern Time. The final predictions before opening day on Thursday, when I'm doing a live stream with Mike Curlin, and I'm really looking forward to that. Me and Curlin are going to go on the air at about 4 p.m. That was what we discussed as of now, and we'll go for as long as we can. We'll have as many guests that are willing to join us, so if you want to watch baseball, talk baseball, really get the feel of opening day, and who doesn't love talking baseball when we actually have results from regular season games? Sounds like fun, right? So don't miss out on that. Thursday, the first game is the Yankees and the Blue Jays at 1:05 Eastern Time, I believe. So that'll be fun. I want to show you guys my screen here, but I don't want to incriminate people here. I don't know what the code of ethics is on this stuff. You know, some people don't want their information to be revealed. I don't know. I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings or cause any issues, but I want to share the screen since this is a video. So hang on a minute. Let me see if I can work some type of miracle here. I don't see how I can avoid that. No, I don't see how I can do that. It seems unavoidable. The draft is almost done. Like I said, there's 2 picks left, and I'm looking. I want to talk about what I'm looking at, but I can't tell you because what if someone's watching? They might steal my picks. I don't know what to do. But I'll lay it out for you like this. Here's what my roster looks like. I think I can do this without causing any issues. 1 second here. I know this is not very entertaining live entertainment. I apologize for that. I could hit a dumb noise here. How about this? How about this one? There you go. That's entertaining. Bush. All right. I guess I'll just have to tell you. So I started out with Freddie Freeman and Lucas Giolito. Those are my first 2 picks. I was at the turn, the 15th pick. Again, 15-team Roto League. And after that, I could have had Bellinger. I could have had Darvish. Could have had Bryce Harper, if you so choose, or Manny Machado. Adalberto Mondesi went 12th overall, so that was an interesting pick. That was the one that stood out the most. Everything else was pretty much status quo. Jacob deGrom was taken 1st overall, for those of you that are curious. And then Garrett Cole was taking a couple picks after him. But with my draft, in my situation, I was looking to probably get Freeman, Story, Bueller, Giolito. These are the 4 or 5 names. I've done so many drafts, and I always do the turn. I have a lot of experience here. That's why, even if it's not your favorite position, if you're not a fan of 15, I chose 15 because I've just had a lot of experience with it naturally this offseason. It just kind of ended up that way. So I say go with what you know, and that's what I did. So after that, I came back in round 3 and took Starling Marte. I love Starling Marte. He's going to hit the top of the order. You're going to get plenty of steals. You get a solid batting average. A lot of runs scored here in a lineup that might be underrated. I think it's going to be a pretty good lineup. The NL East is stacked. I know that. But there's going to be a lot of runs scored in that division, and the Marlins are a part of that. They really are. So I love Starling Marte, and I have no regrets taking him there. And I closed that sector out with Corbin Burns. Now, I could have gone with Randy Rosarina. I could have gone in a different direction there. I was actually thinking Gleyber Torres. Though this would be pick 46. It would have been 20 plus up his ADP. I think his ADP is 66, but I did not go that route. I kind of regret that because I think Gleyber Torres is going to have a great year this year. I'm expecting him to be fully healthy and hitting maybe the best lineup in baseball, bar none. But I passed on that. I went with Corbin Burns, who I don't expect to give me a lot of innings. So I could regret that. That could be the big pick I regret. I was texting with Dave McDonald from the Rotosaurus in the high stakes heat. Yes. You know, Dave and Jake, you guys got to fix that title. It always drives me nuts. It's high stakes heat. That's what it is. The Rotosaurus guys. Anyways, Dave was saying he doesn't like Corbin Burns because he's worried about the amount of innings he'll get from him. And I actually agree with that. I have not drafted Burns much. But in the moment, in the situation, and what I've seen from spring training and what I saw last year, he's just so damn electric. I just thought it was worth it. Even if he only gives me 110, 120 innings at max, I think it's still pretty valuable. All right, so I got my 2 picks coming up here and 2 more picks. So I got to focus in here for a second. Let's see. The final 2 picks of my main event. My first ever main event. So exciting. My first ever main event. Woohoo! Looks like my roster is covered in all angles. I got enough pitchers. I've got 4 supposed closers, so that's enough. I could pretty much go in any direction here. So when my pick comes up, I will tell you the players I'm thinking about. And right now, JT Brubaker was just taken, and Jose Alvarado, relief pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies, who was traded from Tampa Bay in the offseason. Or was he let go? Either way, he was with Tampa, and now he's with Philly. Jason Hayward just taken. All right, one more pick until my turn. Jason Hayward's underrated. I think in deep leagues like this, a 15-team roto with 30 roster spots, I think Hayward is a nice little flyer because he was pretty damn good last year. The Cubs were awful, horrendously awful offensively, but Hayward was one of the bright spots. Go take a look at the stats. I do not lie. All right, here, I'm waiting on LaValle. That reminds me of Dave Valley. Remember Dave Valley, the Seattle Mariners catcher from the 90s? Dave Valley, that's V-A-L-L-E. Waiting on LaValle here to make the pick, and then it's my turn. And I'm looking at a pitcher, and I'm looking at another pitcher. I might actually take 2 starting pitchers here, and I'll tell you who they are in just a moment. As soon as this, he's clocking. He took Garrett Crochet from the White Sox. I'm officially on the clock. So I'm thinking here with my last 2 picks, I might take Kohei Arihara, Josh Lindblom, Spencer Turnbull, or Chris Flexen. And there's also John Gray and Patrick Sandoval. I like all of these starters, and I feel like I got to get one more of them. So I don't know if you guys can see this or you want to comment and tell me who I should take. I might consider your comment. But I only have 35 seconds left. So it's between Arihara, Lindblom. Turnbull's on COVID list, which sucks. But he's still a pretty damn good pitcher. So I think it might be worth it. John Gray pitches in Coors, which is hell.
Coors.
I love John Gray. I've been there, done that, but I don't want to live that life anymore. So I think I'm going to take, this is a fly. I think I'm going to take the flyer on Arihara. We'll see what he does in the regular season. There it is. Kohei Arihara has officially been selected by myself. Now I have one more pick, my final pick of the main event. I could go with anybody. I could pick anybody I want. And I'm thinking another pitcher. Although Edwin Rios is still available. And if Rios pops, that bat he's got tremendous bat speed. If he pops, man, that would be a nice little surprise for me at the end of the draft. I'm also noticing Cam Bedrosian has made the Reds roster, former closer / reliever for the Angels. Cam Bedrosian. So if they like what they saw, he was pretty good in spring training. He might end up taking that closer job, but there's too many pitchers in that pen. It's too messy, so I'll stay away from that. I think I might go Yandy Diaz here. Yep, I think I'm gonna give it a shot. I love what I saw in spring. Here we go. Yandy Diaz. There it is. That's my final pick of the main event. It is now over. It's in the books. My first ever main event. Yay! I want to applaud myself. Woo! Yay! I did it. I did it. Woohoo! I did it. Yeah! I'm very happy for myself. And I want to congratulate everybody in the main event tonight. I hope it went well. I actually got to check in with a couple of fellas I know because they did main events at 10 o'clock. Zach Waxman's probably in his main event right now. And Matty Davis was doing another main event at 8 p.m. I think there was two simultaneously going down at 8 p.m. Eastern time. All right, so let's cover the board here. The draft's basically over, so I don't care anymore. I'm going live. I'm going to share this with you. So hang tight. Here we go. Stand by as I share my screen. Whoa! Okay. Oh, there goes Blake Trinan. All right, so my team's on the far right here, obviously. I wish we should zoom this in a bit. Let me zoom in. Zooming in. Zooming in more. Hang on. Okay, here we go. All right, so I'm here on the far right of the screen here. If you can see that, I hope you can. So I took, like I said, Freddie Freeman, Lucas Giolito. Then I took Starling Marte, Corbin Burns. We covered that earlier. I could have had Ozuna, Edwin Diaz. Went pretty high there. He was a fourth rounder. I think that's the highest I've seen Edwin Diaz recently. I'm impressed by that. Very impressive. JT Realmuto was the first catcher off the board there right after that. I thought about Realmuto. I'm like, should I be that guy who takes Realmuto high? Didn't do it. I stuck to my guns, as they say. So when it came back to me, a couple picks later, a couple rounds later, I took Yoan Moncada and Jeff McNeal. Now, Yoan Moncada, I believe, could truly be an MVP candidate. If not this year, next year for sure. But he will ascend further into that stratosphere this season. I'm all in on it. If it doesn't go that way, well, then I'm gonna be up Schitt's Creek, I guess, because I really like him. There's nothing not to like about Moncada. I know he had the crazy BABIP in World War II-esque BABIP. Remember what was it, 399 or 406? Something ridiculous in 2019. It was a BABIP we haven't seen in a long time, but I think that's the kind of player he can be. It might not be that high, but he's a guy who'll hit for batting average. So I'm very excited about that. And then I took Jeff McNeal to reinforce that. This is a pick. I love Jeff McNeal, but I don't know if I should have took him at this spot when I could have had other guys like Nick Castellanos was right after that. And look how high Victor Robles went. This was the highest I've seen Robles. Because remember, this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the 6th round. I have not seen Victor Robles go that high. In fact, I'll have to check. That could be the min on Victor Robles. And I also could have had Lourdes Gurriel. There's some other great hitters there that I really liked, but I went with Jeff McNeal. He's not going to steal as many bases as I want him to, but he's a great batting average hitter, so I have no problem with that at all. And then I got to wait on the next turn as it came back to me, and Brandon Lau dropped down to this level, which is definitely below his ADP. Now, I know people like Lau maybe more in OBP leagues because he has a good eye. He gets on base through walks a lot. That doesn't help you in Roto as much. But if Brandon Lau can hit me, 30 home runs this year, and he's got second base eligibility, that's very nice. I clearly have a lot of second basemen, as you could tell. Second base eligible guys. Jeff McNeal, Brandon Lau, Marcus Semien will be, as soon as he gets the eligibility in Toronto, playing second base there. Nick Solak and Gavin Lux down here. I got a lot of second base eligible dudes, and that's cool. People say second base is shallow. I completely disagree. That is just a load of poo. So I took Lau and Semien on the next turn there. Semien was a tough call. I would have taken I wanted to take maybe a pitcher there, but I thought I could wait. It didn't go that way, so I ended up sticking with Semien, and I don't regret it because I really liked Marcus Semien this year. And then on the next turn, I took Solak and Karinchak. Now, this is where I really regret not getting the pitchers. These guys right here, Dylan Bundy, Sandy Alcantara. I wish I could have had one of those two. In fact, all three of these guys right here, Bundy, Anderson, Alcantara, I wish I had these guys. I love all three of them. Oh, crap, what did I do? I enacted something. Sorry. I love all three, but they all went, so I just said, screw it. I got to get my guy Solak, even though I was jumping ADP by about 30 spots or so. And as far as Karinchak, I took Karinchak, even though I have 0 shares of him. I don't have him anywhere. This is the very first time I've drafted him, and I did so because he fell. And I know that Whitgren's in the mix, and even Phil Matone and Emmanuel Clase. There's a lot of arms in that pen. But even if he doesn't get all the saves, I feel like he'll get enough, and the ratios, despite the walks, that could be the risk here. The biggest risk is the walks and not getting the saves. But I thought he fell far enough that he's still so damn talented, I had to take him. So I did. And I don't regret it. I don't. And then on the next turn, I took Ian Happ and Aaron Savale. Ian Happ is going to lead off. So I figure I want a guy, even if he's not going to hit for a great batting average, Ian Happ might be better in OBP leagues and points leagues. He's going to lead off, and he's going to score a lot of runs. And he can hit for power, and he can steal. So I like getting leadoff guys. I like to get the most amount of volume I can. And that's why I took Ian Happ there, even though I don't love him in Roto. And this is also, again, the second Cleveland pitcher I had 0 shares of coming into today. I took Aaron Savale for the very first time tonight. I never took him, even though I considered a few different drafts where he was always around the same spot in these Roto drafts. But I finally took Savale, and I hope it pays off. If Savale can have a Zach Plesac type ascension in 2021, then I'll be thrilled. If he's not that, and he's just kind of so-so, ho-hum, it's not the worst ever. He's my 3, though, my SP number 3. So maybe that's a bit risky for some of you out there who prefer to have somebody a little more steady. And that goes back to a couple rounds ago when I wish I could have had Alcantara, a Bundy, or Ian Anderson as my SP3. That would look nicer. I admit that. And that could be a weak point on this team. And then on the next turn, as it came back to me once again, I took Gavin Lux. I believe he will break out. He's ready to go. He's got all the tools. COVID screwed him up last year. Forget 2020. Don't worry about that. He's a great player, and he's going to be in a great lineup. I know Chris Taylor's there, and they got a lot of players that they can plug in almost anywhere, it seems, but that doesn't bother me. And then I took Zach Gallen at pick 196. That's right. So he fell all the way down there, and I figured, hey, why not? If he comes back in June and I can get the full Zach Gallen experience, I hope that's worth it. I really don't have a precedent for this because Roto-wise, you want to get a lot of volume. But if he can help my ratios, that'll be nice. So we'll see what I get out of that. Definitely a risky move, no doubt about it. But I've seen him go higher even after the fact he was already injured. So I don't think it was that risky taking him at 196. And then on the turn, that came back the next turn. Endless turns here. I took Brady Singer and Ryan Yarbrough. So you get Brady Singer, who's a bulldog. He's going to strike out a lot of guys. And then you got Yarbrough, who's got incredible command, and he's known for a lower whip. But everybody's saying, too, that he's going to strike out more guys this year. So if that happens, that's just a bonus. But I want Yarbrough to balance out Singer, just in case Singer has some high whip outings. I think Yarbrough is the perfect complement. I've done this in 2 other drafts at least, where I combined Brady Singer and Ryan Yarbrough just to reinforce and back up my Singer love. And if I'm a little early on Singer, hopefully Yarbrough will balance out any negative outcomes for Brady Singer. And then on the next turn, I took Taylor Rogers. I actually like him a lot. He keeps falling and falling. Everybody says Colomé is the guy, but Rogers is in line to get his just as many saves. And Rogers has been there doing his job for the last couple of years already. Now, Colomé's there, and it's going to be a problem, and there's going to be a bullpen issue. That's a committee situation. But I still think Rogers is equally useful as Colomé is, but he always goes later. And I'm fine taking Rogers in the 200s and falling near 300. I got him way after his ADP, and that's fine with me. And that's why I took Adam Eaton. I love my guy, Adam Eaton. That's my guy. I always take Adam Eaton. He's always undervalued. He's always going too late. He needs to go sooner because he's in a great lineup. And with Eloy Jimenez out, that's just another spot that guarantees any questionable playing time outcomes for him, don't worry about it. Adam Eaton's a great player. Will he get hurt? Yeah, anybody could get hurt. He's been hurt before. He'll probably be hurt again. But I think he's going to score 100 runs in that lineup if he's healthy. And then in my next two combo, I took Ahmed Rosario and Archie Bradley. First time I've taken Bradley all offseason. I have a few shares of Rosario. I also took Rosario for the reinforcement of the outfield eligibility, which he will surely get since he's going to be the center fielder for Cleveland. And I think the more guys you can have with multiple eligibility, the better off you are. Archie Bradley, he might not win that job. He might lose that job. They got Alvarado, they got Kinsler, they got Bradley. The Philadelphia Phillies have a lot of relievers, so who the hell knows what's going to happen in there? But I took a flyer on one of them. You got to pick one. And then I took Hyesung Kim because he fell so far down. He's also got some outfield reps too, so there's another guy who could have multiple eligibility, just like Ahmed Rosario. If he gets outfield and infield, that's bonus time for me. And he's going to find a role in that team sooner than later. They signed a contract for a reason. He committed to them for a reason. He's going to get in there. Now, it might not go the way I wanted to initially, but I believe in Kim. I really do. And the fact that he always falls makes it easier for me to take him. And I backed that up with David Dahl. So I got David Dahl and Adam Eaton, two guys that are just known to be injured, perpetually injured. Am I wrong? I mean, these guys are classic injury-prone players. And it's definitely risky. I know that I'm taking a risk without a doubt. Let me come back to here, see if there's any comments. Hey, no comments. Nobody cares. Great, good. At any rate, I'm excited about this main event team. I'm very happy that I committed to it. I know it's not going to be easy, but I'm looking forward to the opportunity to play against the best. These people draft like nobody else drafts because they have the money to do so. So they're putting their money where their mouth is, and I respect that. Sure, there's probably people who have a lot of cash to blow that could just do whatever they want with their money. Maybe they're wasting it. I don't know. But I do know I like my squad for the most part. David Dahl be damned. My starting catchers, Tyler Stevenson, Francisco Mejia, Luis Urias, always late, but he's going to play every day. They want to get a long look at him at shortstop. They traded him in the Grisham deal from San Diego for a reason. They believe in Urias, and I believe in him as well, especially since he's got triple eligibility. And then I threw in Miggy, got my guy, my Tigers guy. I'm a local Tigers fan, so I had to get Miguel Cabrera. I got him. And he's going to play first a lot more this year, so he's not going to just be a UT. He'll get that first base eligibility, which is just a bonus. I needed another corner infielder. And if Miggy somehow hits 280 and has 25-plus home runs, that'll be an incredible boon for me, a great return. I took a flyer on Matt Bush, Texas Rangers closer. Who knows who's going to close? Ian Kennedy, Matt Bush, Hunter Wood. No idea. I took Bush as a flyer. If I drop him, I'm not going to really care. This is towards the end of the draft. Not that big a risk, in my opinion. And I closed it out with Adrian Hauser, Kohei Arihara, and Yandy Diaz. Yandy Diaz had a great spring. Loving what I've seen with him in the spring. So we'll see how it all works out. I have no idea what'll happen. I just wanted to share with you what I did. This is a big, big commitment. The main event, a lot of money at stake here. First place in individual leagues is $7,000. So, woo! That would be a nice chunk of change. That'd be the most money I ever made playing fantasy baseball, and that's not even close. So I really look forward to the season getting going. Opening day Thursday. It's going to be a great time. I want to thank you guys for always being so supportive of the podcast and the live streams. That's all I got. That's my main event team. Thank you so much. Don't forget, Palazzo Podcast. Give us a sub on the YouTube channel, PalazzoPodcast@protonmail.com. Send me an email. And that's it. Palazzo Podcast, 2 L's, 2 Z's.
Utah, give me 2.
That's all I have for you. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you think I'm going to be good. If you think my team sucks, tell me why. Please tweet at us, DM us at Palazzo Podcast on Twitter or Facebook page, or send an email, PalazzoPodcast@protonmail.com. And maybe I'll learn something and I'll grow as a player. I don't have any issues with people challenging my opinions and views because they're opinions. They're not facts. So I'm happy to change my mind if I'm given a proper set of evidence to do so. All right, there it is. Bye-bye, everybody. I'll see you next time. Bye.